Hey everyone, today we are going to start with a chapter that is one of the most tough chapter of class 9 science. So let's practice some questions which can come in your periodic tests, in your midterm, in your final exam. So the first question is, how do plants get nutrients? A nutrient is a substance of a chemical nature. It is needed by organising for the purpose of carrying out activities of life. Green plants capture solar energy using chlorophyll in their leaves. Photosynthesis is the chemical process by which producers capture light from the sun and absorb nutrients and water through the roots. Therefore, plants need to get fluids and nutrients from the ground up through their stems to different parts that are above ground level. This was the first question. Now in this question you will write the chemical equation which would give a good effect to your answer, and the chemical equation is C6CO2 plus 6H2O is plus light energy is C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Okay, next we have carbon dioxide plus water plus sunlight yields to food and oxygen. Nutrient acts as a second energy source for plant growth. They obtain these 16 essential macro and micronutrients from air, water, soil. Hydrogen, oxygen and carbon are consumed from air and water. Major proportion of nutrients come from soil. So there were 6 macronutrients and some micronutrients which were 7. So now the second question, how are fish obtained? There are two ways of obtaining fishes. First is capture fishing. It is the process of obtaining fish from natural resources like river, lake or seas. In this the yield depends upon the environmental condition and the fish habitat. Second, culture fishery. It is the practice of farming fishes. Farming can be done in both freshwater ecosystem, which includes river water and pond water, and marine ecosystem. In this method the cultivation of selected fishes are carried out in conformed area, utmost care to get maximum yield. Third question, what is vermicompost? Answer. The organic matter that has been decomposed or broken by biological processes is in a process called composting, and when this process is carried done by various species of worms, then it referred to as vermicompost. These worms increase the time of compost and ensures good quality of compost. Fourth question, what causes storage grain losses? Answer. The factors responsible for loss of grains during storage are biotic factors and abiotic factors. Biotic factors are, they are living creatures like insects, rodent, mites, birds and bacteria. They feed on the various types of grains. A pest can cause damage to agriculture by feeding on crops. For example, boll weevils, a pest on cotton. Second, abiotic factors. They are non-living chemical and physical things. They occur due to moisture which is present in food grains, sunlight, temperature, wind and water. They all have adverse effect on food grains leading to their loss. Some natural disasters such as droughts and floods are unpredictable. Their occurrence has great impact on crops, sometimes destroying the entire crop. Next, these factors act on stored grains and degradation, poor germination, discoloration, etc. Next question, fifth. What are milch and draught animals? Milch animals. These are those animals that yield milk. They help in milk production. For example, cow, goat or buffalo also you can write. Next we have draught animals. These are those heavy animals that are used for labor in the field. They help in plowing, irrigation, tilling, etc. For example, donkey, bulls. Next question we have sixth. Give reasons for the following. Why macronutrients and micronutrients are called so? What role do they play? Answer. Plant concentrations for essential elements may exceed or fall from the critical concentration, which is the minimum concentration required for growth. Macronutrients are those elements that are needed in plants in larger amounts than critical concentration. Example: nitrogen, potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus and sulfur. Whereas they are required for micronutrients are opposite of macronutrients. Micronutrients are those which are required in small quantities than critical concentration to ensure normal growth and reproduction of plant. For example, chlorine, iron, boron, manganese, zinc, copper, molybdenum and nickel. Next, seventh question we have: give reasons for the following. Why should preventive measures and biological control methods be preferred for protecting crop? So, answer of this question is: preventive measures and biological control methods should be preferred for protecting crop because excessive use of chemicals can cause harm to the environment. These chemicals are also poisonous for plants and animals. These chemicals are absorbed by the plants along with their water and minerals from the soil and are taken by aquatic plants and animals as well. Preventive methods are those which can be done beforehand to prevent the loss. These measures include proper soil and seed preparation, timely sowing of seeds, intercropping and mixed cropping, usage of disease resistant crop, etc. On the other hand, biological control methods involve the use of biopesticides that are less toxic for the environment as they are made up of organic material. Therefore, both preventive measures and biological measures control are considered eco-friendly methods for crop protection. Next question. Give reasons for the following. Genetic manipulation is considered as useful agriculture practices. Why? Answer. Genetic manipulation is the process of transferring genes which are characters that are desirable from one plant to another plant. In simple words, it can be seen as changing the normal gene arrangement according to your desirable needs. When the gene for a particular character is introduced into a plant cell, a transgenic plant is introduced. These transgenic plants have characters of both old and newly introduced genes or just the new gene. For example, let us assume there is a wild plant that produces small fruits. If a gene responsible for a larger fruit size is introduced in this plant becomes transgenic and starts producing larger fruits. Similarly, genes for higher yield, disease resistance, etc. can be introduced in any desired plant. Therefore, gene manipulation plays an important role in agriculture practices. It helps in improving crop variety. It ensures food security and insect resistant crop. It also improves the quality and yield of crops. Next question, question number 9. Give reasons for the following. Why are manures and fertilizers used in fields? Manures and fertilizers are required in fields to enrich the soil with the desirable nutrients. Manure helps in enriching the soil with organic matter and nutrients as it is prepared by decomposition of animal and plant wastes. This improves the fertility and the structure of soil. This involves increasing the water holding capacity in sandy soil. For example, if we take green manure, it acts as organic fertilizer by nourishing plants with nitrogen and phosphorus, which helps in enhancing growth of plants. On the other hand, fertilizers ensure a healthy growth and development in plants. They are a good source of macronutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. To get a correct amount of yield, it is advised to use a balanced combination of manures and fertilizers in the soil. Their excessive use also reduces soil fertility, hence fertilizers are considered good for only short-term use. 10th question. Give reasons of the following. Why good animal husbandry practices are considered very beneficial for the farmers? Answer. Animal husbandry is concerned with the care and management of livestock. It includes proper feeding, breeding, healthcare and housing of animals. Hence, to satisfy the increasing demand of people for food Animal food, animal husbandry is essential. Good animal husbandry practices increase the production of animal products, thus increase the profit of farmers. Also, it keeps their animal stocks healthy. Hence, time and effort need not to be spent on nursing the sick animals and preventing other animals from falling sick. Improved animal husbandry practice help to meet the demands for milk, meat and eggs. The animal-based farming practices are undertaken by farmers along with agriculture as mixed farming. Draught animals are engaged in agriculture fields for labor work, for example using bulls for plugging in the field. 11th question. What are differences between broilers and layers in their management? Broilers, they are raised for obtaining meat. They require maintenance of temperature and hygienic conditions to grow fast and low mortality. Their daily food requirements is rich in protein and vitamin A and K. The fat content also should be adequate. Example, chicken is raised for its meat. Layers, they are reared for egg laying production. They require enough space and lightening चाहिए होती है, enough space चाहिए होता है during the growth and laying periods. They require restricted and calculated feed with vitamins, minerals and micronutrients. Example, chicken are raised for producing eggs. Now 12th question, differentiate between Rabi and Kharif season crops. Kharif crops and Rabi crops. Kharif are planted in the start of the rainy season. They need huge amount of water, grow in hot and wet conditions, and they are harvested in October and November. For example, paddy, black gram and cotton. Rabi crops, they are planted during the winter season. They need fewer amounts of water. They grow in cold and dry conditions. They are harvested in March and April. For example, wheat, gram and pea. Next question. 13. What is the difference between capture fishing, mariculture and aquaculture? Capture fishing. Catching fishes from natural resources. It is undertaken in both in land and marine waters like pond, lake, sea, estuary, etc. The culture of marine fishes for commercial use is the branch of aquaculture which involves cultivation of marine organisms in the open ocean. Mariculture में open ocean होता है. Now aquaculture, cultivation of aquatic products under controlled conditions. It involves all the fish products obtained from farming in both salt water and fresh water such as prawns, lobsters, fishes, crabs. 14th question. In agriculture practices, instead of fertilizers, manure should be commonly employed because continuous use of fertilizers in an area can destroy soil fertility as the organic matter in the soil is not replenished. It also affects the various microorganisms present in the soil which are beneficial for maintaining soil quality. Disrupting the nature of soil will hamper in the production of crop. A basic comparison table for manure and fertilizers. Their meaning. Manure is a natural material obtained from decaying plant and animal waste and that can be applied to the soil to enhance its fertility. It is prepared in fields. It provides humus to the soil. It is comparatively less rich in plant nutrients. They are slowly absorbed. It is economical. There is no side effect. In fact, it improves the physical condition. That is, what is physical condition? Physical condition is such as we can say texture भी वो improve कर देता है. Next we have fertilizers. Fertilizers is a human made natural substance which can be added to the soil to improve its fertility and increase the productivity. Prepared in factory, it does not provide humus to soil, rich in plant nutrients, quickly absorbed. It is costly and it harm to the living organism present in the soil. Macro and micronutrients. Micronutrients are required in small quantities. They are present in low concentration in plants. They are also called trace elements. Example, iron, manganese, copper, zinc, molybdenum, boron, chlorine and nickel. Micronutrients are minerals. They can be toxic for the plant if present in excess in the cell than the required quantity. Then macronutrients, they are required in large quantities. They are present in excessive concentration in plant. They are also called major elements. For example, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, sulfur and magnesium. Majority of macronutrients are minerals. Some are known minerals such as carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. They are usually not toxic to the cell if they are present in relatively higher concentration than the normal level. These are the 15 questions from this chapter. In the next video we are going to go with the 16 questions, and in this PDF there are total in last we have true false and some comprehensive exercise of true false. Okay, we have some MCQs also. Okay, in the next video we are going to do all these MCQs and these one word definitions, and we will also complete the rest of the question answers, and we will start from 16 question in the next video. So thank you all for this video. Thank you for joining.